to WhatsApp on 0777 556296 and we will check for you. Also follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, on X at LVL Facheck, and go to our website at www.localvoicesliberia.com. I am Siawe Miapu. Thanks for listening.
And indeed, my name is Julius Chair. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Okay. So the House of Representatives Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, through what is called the Legislative Budget Office, they've released the schedule for the first quarter 2025 budget revenue performance public hearings. By tomorrow we should be able to read that to you. We don't have enough time to go through it. We also know that President Joseph Boakai commissioned ArcelorMittal's quote-unquote 1.4 billion concentrator plant. We tried to explain to you last week what that does, what it is, and all of that. We know there are issues from the caucus and a whole lot of people from NIMBA. And I've been reading and I've been wondering, some Liberians, especially a whole lot of them who support the government, who are how we I say fanatics of the government, were like, why are the lawmakers? The president doesn't have time. It's about giving jobs to the people. The president is concerned about giving jobs to the people. And I'm like, it said the same Liberians who are concerned about concessions not meeting up to agreements and all those kinds of things and blah blah blah. Are they the ones getting angry now for lawmakers stamping their feet and planting them into the ground to demand more or better out of ArcelorMittal for any deal to go through? Sometimes I just wonder now, how do we do this now? So we can only demand, because it is not new. These things these lawmakers are talking is not new. Way back 2021, 2022, I remember now Vice President, then Senator, when could begin Senator? 2020, 2021, yeah. After he became Senator, I was part of a media team. That was me, that was Abraham Wion, that was Kelvin Demi and others. They took us to NIMBA. The same deal today that is still being chased. 2022? Yeah. They took us to NIMBA. The caucus. When the same deal, the same concentrator plan whatsoever, they were starting the groundworks to build it and whatsoever, the same concerns they had then are the same concerns they still have today. And those concerns that they had then made the current government in opposition. They were also pushing for lawmakers to ensure that that deal was not passed the way it was. That deal was being talked about when the HPX thing came in. So all of the things you see happening now, they're not new. The things being said, were said yesterday. So I'm like, you know. So how do we do this thing now? So you only accept when it is your government in power, then at the end of the day, we the same people will be beating on the lawmakers and say, oh, why are you putting to this? For an example, I brought up the GTMS deal on yesterday. Last week rather. I brought up the GTMS deal. No serious due diligence was done. See what the audit report looks like. Nobody held the company accountable for anything. The questions about monies that were supposed to be paid, that no one knows where it is. Nothing whatsoever. And we passed it. Just like that. Whether they will deliver again, no. So I don't think it is a wrong thing, as much as ArcelorMittal may have done some good things. They've not paid certain taxes. It is not a wrong thing for the lawmakers to want more, to look at an assessment of the delivery on the first due for the extension that is required. There is nothing wrong with that. It is in the interest of the country. This whole cover up thing about jobs, it's just a simple matter of it. Resources are going away in the millions of dollars every year, hundreds of millions. And what is being left? These are serious issues to look at. And I really hope they can stamp their feet better. You know? This is where citizens are supposed to join in with their lawmakers to demand. But I can't understand this other country. Yeah, sometimes how you do things can weaken people. How not? You guys, since the aid concession, they not me, blah, 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 blah. See, this is government king. Why they didn't repeal those concessions or review that, do this and that? They didn't do it. UP can't do that. The time for them to do that. Lawmakers are pushing. Then you say, and the president, the people got to get jobs. So the president, he doesn't have time for that thing. The concentration, he dedicate, blah, blah, blah. The people, I don't know. But it's okay. It's okay. Sometimes I want to make me cry. Yeah, but we'll not cry. At least not on public radio. Maybe we'll go home. You're thinking about all the things I can do. Tears just start coming down. Okay. Yeah? But I swear. Hey, okay, in control. What? How do we cry? Oh, the lawmakers, they can't do due diligence. They can't do that one. They can't do that other one. Oh, then they won't do it. Oh, they have been doing it for years now. No head and no tail. But when we just get a second deal, because we in power. Yeah? That's how it works. Okay. So that's that. But we'll go deeper into that one. Let's leave that. That's not me. One more thing. What else did I need to say? Oh, congratulations to Portugal, as a matter of fact, for winning the Nations League. You don't know, because of Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm a fan of Portugal, and so I was happy, especially him scoring that equalizing goal. I like the guy, So yeah, congratulations. So before I get my people on, an interesting thing happened. Former President Weah went to the home of the late Nancy Doe, and as usual, he did the bowing thing. I think the quote-unquote controversial daughter, Mami Doe, tried shaking hands, did the bowing thing, so she herself did it, blah, blah, blah. He made a speech there. He carried some gifts for rice, money, cows. I think the cows were taken there today. Then we've been reading on social media that she returned the items that were carried on yesterday, returned them. I think they said at the party headquarters, not to his house, but to party headquarters, CDC party headquarters. Put them in the truck and carry them back. It is the right of anybody to return, to refuse a gift or whatsoever anybody gives them. Usually it is done the time the person gives it to you. Say, oh no, I don't need this. I know I was in a situation where somebody was giving me some money. I said, no, I don't need it. Yeah, recently I had only 800 LD in my pocket. The person was giving me some very big money, 2K USD. I said, I don't want it. You're not believing, but I seriously, I said, I don't want it. For some reason, I said I didn't need it. That was on the spot. They didn't give it to me. I take it. I come back the next day. I said, no, man. Or maybe when you take the gift and you go again, when you think. So it is always people's rights. Around funerals, it's usually in our tradition, in our setting. It's around funeral when people have issues that they set to it. But it seems that there are some issues within the family itself. The Vice President Jeremiah Kun alluded to that when he went there. He will help to bring them together. Former President Weah went there. He made it to appear like He's a former ambassador. He's still ambassador. Asigninabo made him to go there. One key thing that he said that is problematic, I believe, is that he was begging the family, say he's their son and blah blah blah. Yeah, but he said he will not go to the funeral activities in the village in Grand Jeddah because he's supposed to be traveling, but they will feel his presence and all of that. Mr. Former President, if you're listening, or some of the people that can be around you, if they're listening, you see, when people stand up for you, when they are always there for you, one of the places they want you to physically identify with them are death trouble. In this death trouble, that they want you to be physically present. That one, it is not about, oh, let the dead bury the dead and blah blah blah. When people are attached to you during situations of death, your presence is always important. It makes them to feel that you care. And there's no, whether you like it or not, this funeral here, it has political connotations and all of that. Even my Nessedu was in the interview with Clarence, you can reschedule. These people have stood up with you, no matter what someone in the family may have done, or whether they return items today or whatsoever. In this case, you are the bigger person. You are the one who was president before. You are the one who is the leader of a political party. You are the one that a whole county can vote for. They are your base. You went to Prince Johnson's funeral here despite everything that was said. Yeah? Why? Is it because it's a big county and you don't want them to see you some kind of way? You think, what is your base? Your base. I see the minister calling. Yeah? He say you'll not be able to go there because you get travel. I heard that one clear. That one there, you ain't get justification. You should go there. Yeah? You should go there. You should be there. You did the same thing when you were president to commission that road from Tapita to Grange. We were told 2-3 times the scheduled programs. You didn't go there. Eh? You didn't go there. I said you had the money, I brought the money to get the road started, to go launch, to do groundbreaking for the road. You don't go there until you left power. So the new government has started bidding in. Yeah, I saw it. That's what I'm talking about. Then funeral again. Oh, that on the election time you were passed through Grange there? Apart from election going to campaign or when you were president. When did you go there like to be? I can't understand you politicians or I can't. But I really think if I were as popular as you are and I won't be president again or whatsoever, I don't see how somebody was going to beat me. Because since you lost the election, you've not done tour. They said last year you would do it. You have not done it. Yeah? Every time, we do the tour. I'm in Liberia. What? Even if I have foreign travel, it'll just be small. But I'll always, every month, I'll make sure every month I'll be in some kind of county, just blending in. They put no you president again. They ain't expecting anything much from you. Just blend in. Go with some people on their farms, visit schools. Just do the normal things that human beings would do to endear yourself more. That whole county devil. Don't think when people, you see, the mistake we always make, we think when people love us unconditionally, that love can finish. It will always be just like that. So we can mistreat people who love us. I'm talking about you and the Doe family thing. I thought that thing, but this is beyond them. It is a whole county death. So you should be there. You should go there. Okay. Our man Alfred has joined. Let me alert Councillor Gu as well. You should go. Let me see. Sekou too was calling. What does Sekou want to clarify? Okay. What does Sekou want to clarify? Let me see. Uh, man, I call him back to back. You know, I told you I say in the country here, I can talk anything. That's the difference between me and everybody. I can talk to anybody, anything. Carrasco was calling. Carrasco, I'm calling you back to say I know you're not available. Uh, I won't clarify that thing there. He said it. Oh. He said it about your video. I won't bring my guest on. Carrasco, you were calling. Yeah, if you ask me, I don't think she should have. But that would tell you that there are issues. There are some people who are in favor of president. We are in the family, former president. There are some people who are not. You know. But again, you can't judge people that are bereaved and doing those things. Whether there's political motive or whatsoever, at this point, it doesn't matter. It is the leader, that the highest responsibility now will be on the head of the leader. Former Representative Great, what do you have to say quickly? I have to take my guess.
Julius, thank you very much. I love the fact that you made some analysis, but that's not the basis for which you turn back the commodity.
No, I know. I was not drawing. No. Let's get it straight now. No, let's get it straight. No, before you put the second point. Yeah, but wait now. Let me get it on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's make it clear first that I said it is alright when she wants to return. She doesn't want to return, but I know there are some issues within the Doe family. Everybody alludes to that and blah 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 and all those kinds of things. So it is understandable. Then I move to the next point. I say
let me come to the last point.
Okay.
Also.
I listened to his speech and have problem with that part. So you can go ahead.
You have your right to make your analysis. You know you're one of those that I really respect. Okay, but listen, the president had this particular visit here. It's just unfortunate that it happened the way it happened. You can't postpone it. It's not possible.
Where is he going?
What's he going to meet? Okay, I don't have to say it.
No, but if we don't know who he is going to meet. No, but he is a public figure now. So who is this public figure going to meet?
Some of the visits you made is unannounced. Let me say this to you. We should know. You know that very well. Some people don't want people to know around the world. But there's the issue, the next issue here. You don't think the way they get behaved, that even if you now have the time to go there, she will not misbehave and disgrace in front of everyone.
Well, I think when he went there, both of them. No, hello. I thought, hello, bossman. I thought both of them looked cordial yesterday when he went there. So
Julius, look at the scene. The scenario yesterday was very cordial, right? So in less than 24 hours, then you just show another color jewel.
So what about in the case of the late Senator Prince Johnson? The case of the late Senator Prince Johnson. There were a whole lot of things said. People from MTR wrote stuff against former president. But he still went there.
Listen to me now. Julius, I agree. He went to Prince Johnson family. He spoke. Okay, he left. He said he was going back. Whatsoever they left, there whatsoever they did. They didn't turn it back like that. Oh, Julius, you said something very important. Julius, not because it's a burial or funeral. Facts will have to be put into place. They should understand also that, look, she has no history of supporting the city. In fact, she asked Grange then not to vote for George Weah. Okay? We don't want to go.
Yeah, no, but I want that is not my issue. I am saying he is supposed to go there. You don't
I'm not saying, Julius, I support President Weah going Grange, but because the president engagement.
Okay, thanks so kindly. But since you can't tell us who he is going to meet, that is okay.
You know that your business, not everything you know.
Okay. Yeah, no, I said it's okay now.
Yeah, so that one you're talking about, you former president, you know what I'm talking about.
I said okay. See you.
Okay.
Okay.
They can put you outside, also now on Saturday, they can be busy.
See you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let me hear what Carrasco has to say quickly, so I take my guess. Carrasco, welcome quickly.
Thank you, Julius. You know, and like Honorable Grace said, you know, the other one, we can't tell you until it happens. But at the end of the day, President Weah has canceled. Yeah, he has canceled his trip on 3 different occasions, and it is very important that he go at this particular time. He's supposed to be traveling. He was due to travel. He canceled it. Look, and Julius, look at the circumstances that is behind this whole Mami comportment, right? Few weeks before President we are a few days before President we went to Nesedo place. But at time, Mr. Parker has already gone there. But they did not post any picture of him going there. When Joshua went there, after the picture was circulating on social media, they posted that he went there. Now, we have been with just now. When the family came back, certain member of the family came back and clearly disagreeing with Mami comportment, we have been reliably informed that yesterday, Mami had a conversation with certain group of people within the Unity Party. What did they do? They asked that she return everything that Josh we had talked to them so they could do bigger without the approval of the family, and she took that decision. It is unfortunate.
Well, it is an allegation. Who are these people in the party that she spoke to? But besides, I am being told that Spoon TV is reporting that the things have been returned again to the Doe family.
No, yes, the people they put just left from the party headquarters. The two some people, the elderly women, the men and people that came right now. Acting president, we are going on for the decision that was taken by her. They didn't know anything about it. This morning, all of a sudden, they just saw that yes, they think was brought, that something they didn't know about. But that decision was made yesterday. United Party senior official.
Apart from that point, I still believe he is supposed to go to the funeral in Grange, and I think it is an important thing to do.
President, we have said clearly that upon
that same thing last year that he was supposed to do some tour in December of last year, and that did not happen.
No, you heard it, and now we are telling you.
No, but it is something that you all said too. I just hear that it was passing in the breeze. So that you don't need to be the only person that will speak for it to be authentic. You all said these things the same lies that you were supposed to make tour, and the tour did not happen.
Don't listen to United Party people telling you.
Oh, why you call United? Thanks so kindly, Sekou. See you. See you, Sekou. Thanks so kindly. Do we have Alfred on now? So the family just took the items. Bad Spoon is reporting that. I'm sure our man Nyanti will confirm it as well. Okay. Let's go to my people set. Yeah, I think we are set now. Okay.
Yes.
Alfred? Yeah, I'm getting something coming in like an echo.
Yeah, I think it's from your end. I'm hearing an echo myself.
Yeah, let our guy do some adjustments. Okay.
Is that Councilor Lafayette?
Yeah, he is supposed to join us.
Councilor, it's good to have you, sir.
Alfred, nice to see you. Long time. What's up?
Yeah, my man, I can't complain.
Oh, so when you are you the host of the show for you to be welcoming someone? Okay. Let us start with the counselor, and the reason we brought him on is to have an idea how the Liberian legal system works in terms of police calling in people, arresting, holding them, forwarding them to court, bond process. We just want him to run over that for us, for the public understanding, court opening on Saturday and all those kinds of things. It seems a whole lot of people didn't have an understanding. So that's why we brought you on, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Julius. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Do you want me to have a broad conversation, or you have?
No,
questions
yeah,
that
yeah,
you will
yeah,
want to
sure.
pose
So
to her
I
so
just
I
want
can
you to
respond.
on Friday, the quote unquote suspects, the lawmakers, the suspects, they were invited and they were at the police HQ until the evening hours, and then the charges against them were read, and then they were detained at the police headquarters. Then the next day on Saturday, they were taken to court and then forwarded to Central. We just wanted you to explain how did it happen that way that they were called in from morning hours and then charged in the evening hours.
Okay, so Julius, thank you very much. These things occur in criminal justice practice, and it's not a it's not a strange thing that happened on Friday. The police felt that they had to conduct the investigation, continue with the investigation on Friday. They believed that they needed to speak with the persons of interest by then, who turned out to be suspects later, and now they are accused. So the process is that the police calls you in, they take information from you, with the information that they will take to conclude the investigation. They conclude the investigation and they charge you. They charge you on the day on a Friday, and then normally the ministerial courts are open on Saturdays from morning to 12.
Oh, okay. So the magisterial courts can be open on Saturday.
Yeah, the ministerial court normally open on Saturday from morning to 12 because the court of first instant. And I'm sure the framers of the law were cognizant about the Friday arrest, because the law says before you arrest somebody should have a warrant, and if you arrest a person without a warrant, you must immediately to the nearest court to have the warrant issued. So most times the ministerial court will open on Saturday. Sometimes the circuit court will also open on Saturday, and that is because the trial is ongoing, and the judge could set Saturday as a day for the trial to continue. Not for any other regular business, but just for the people continuing with a case that is already ongoing. So in the instant case, that's what happened on Friday.
Okay. Now, why is it usually we see that police will call people in on Friday and then charge them late in the evening? People say it is a deliberate thing to have the people detained, to have them imprisoned. Counsel?
I'm not sure if it is my end.
No, it was for Councilor Gu. Okay, I don't know if he's hearing us, but Alfred, let us hear your initial thoughts about the charges. You know, the whole situation about the Friday morning they were there and then being charged in the evening.
Say this right. It's not unusual for individuals to be called in, and these individuals are then arrested. It's not unusual. It's not something that is out of the ordinary. We've done that before. You get a suspect, maybe you don't want a suspect to escape, or like I said earlier, you have somebody, maybe you want to serve a search warrant at the house. You know, you can tell them, say, "Oh, we need to talk to you at the station," and the person comes at their own volition. You have the 48 hours to detain them while you conduct your search warrant at the house or things like that. So it's not unusual to call people on a false pretense. officers can lie to you. We don't owe you the truth. We can deceive you to be able to achieve a law enforcement objective. That deceit should not form part of your statement of probable cause, but it can be part of the strategy to get you to come to us. So it is not unusual for that to happen. What I'm talking about, and hopefully the counselor can elaborate on it, because I'm not too familiar with the Liberian system as it relates to when they arrest and transfer to custody of the Department of Corrections, or in this case, South Beach. What we do here is, once we arrest somebody, that person, we take that person to the jailhouse and put them in the custody of the Department of Corrections from there. But I don't know what's the arrangement like in Liberia, where if LMP arrests you and they still keep you at the LMP headquarters under the guise of the 48-hour requirement. My understanding is that once the 48-hour applies to detention, you can detain somebody for that 48 hours to 72 hours while you gather evidence, while you investigate and things like that. But once you tell the person you are under arrest, that person then has to be transported to South Beach or wherever court or wherever jail or prison it can be transported to, so that their process can start. Like the counselor said, if you have not issued the person warrant, if it's like on view arrest, where the problem you were there, the crime committed, and everything, you arrest the person, you take the person to the jail, the person has to have preliminary hearing and all that. That cannot happen while the person stay in police custody. The person has to be in the custody of the Department of Corrections, in the case of South Beach. But maybe the case is different in Liberia. But that's where I have the concern. But it is not unusual for people to be brought to the police station under pretense. It's not unusual. That's an investigative strategy.
Okay, Councillor Good, in terms of the placement that night at the police HQ, the police director was at LBS today, and he said they are doing some renovations, and they had only one cell, so they couldn't join the female with the males, so they detained the 4 males there and released the female to her lawyer, not necessarily on a bond or any medical stuff from the hospital, but because they couldn't mix all of them, they had only one cell there. So she was released with the agreement that she will be at the court on this morning, Monday morning. What do you make of that?
So let me say this, right? When it comes to the situation for Nati Kofa, Dixon, all these guys, it's as highly political as it is judicial. So LMP has a responsibility to not give people the impression that they are being political. When you that they were playing, that thing was playing a long time ago, right? LMP had a plan that would bring the guys there in the morning and then arrest them in the evening. It's not wrong. And that's what taking them 9 o'clock in the morning, after 5 when the court closed, they were arrested. It's not wrong to do that. But with all that time you had, you have made arrangements for a location to get the female defendant or suspect. By releasing her, you create the impression that you are creating an impression of political influence or political favoritism. You politicize the case by doing that, and that's what people have issue with. It is not wrong. It is not wrong for you to be able to complain, but you have enough head start. You have like 9 or 10 hours head start. You planned this thing a long time ago, so you have planned for this thing in terms of making sure that you have a facility to host the female defendant as well. By releasing her, you create the impression that you are being political, because from what I understand, this female defendant is on another end of the political spectrum. I think it's United Party or something. Mm-hmm. So you create that impression, which is wrong. I think it was a miscalculation on the part of Chief Koma.
Do we still have Councillor Gu?
I'm here.
Yeah.
So to add up with what he said, to what he said was the police IG came up with his first recruitment. That is what he told the public. But it also extends beyond the police station. Right? Also happened at the Masira court in Kababa. So I saw she was taken at the Masira court and she was also released.
Yeah, okay. So I phoned into that
So
program, and his explanation was that he did not even know they were to go to the court on Saturday, but of course he was told that she came late, so that's why she remained with her lawyer to come to the court this morning.
no, but that I don't know, but again, that is not an excuse for people coming late. Because the judicial system is that, except maybe when the person went to the court, the court had closed. Again, if the court had closed, then it means that there was no commuter. There was nobody there to do a commuter. And obviously, she could not have returned to a police station that already has limitation in terms of the term. So she would not go to the central prison. So that could be a genuine excuse that she came late and she could not be processed, because before the people go to the central prison, there has to be a committer by the maestro committing them to the central prison. That's the only way they can be admitted at the prison. So if we went late at the time the school were already closed, it's obvious that she will return on the same arrangement until Monday. So that is the process.
Yeah, others I accusing the police of favoritism, that they detain the opposition people and they let the UP sympathizer go under the guise of not having space at the central prison, at the police central.
Well, let me tell you something. The way the police work is not like how the public, sees it. In the eyes of the public, the police may have had the plan from morning to see the people. That's what they call them on Friday. In the eyes of the police had other information that they thought that they would have gathered during the period of time that the people would be called at the station. And at the time that maybe they gathered the information, or when they saw that they could not attain the correct information, they wanted, they then decided to feed what they already had. And at the time they decided to proceed, it was already late, and so there was no time to prepare. So we have to look at it from two ways. Those who are criticizing the police on this action of not preparing a place for the female to be kept, you have a genuine point. But the police also too has a point to prove that their investigation was still ongoing, and they had no intent to put anybody at the cell. Unfortunately, they concluded with it in the late hours of Friday, and so there was nowhere to keep the female. That's the police. So, I mean, there's a lot of interpretation, but you have to respect what the police will say and proceed.
Okay.
Yeah.
After looking at the charges, you have been reading through them. I think there are 5 that cut across.
Yeah, across everything. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you make of them? According to the police IG, they are compelling. They are impeccable. They have impeccable, compelling pieces of evidence to justify why they place those charges on them.
So, Julius, let me quickly address the thing Councilor Good said. I do agree with Councilor Good that we have to look at things from two perspectives. But one thing I've said here is there are certain cases that officers have to exercise caution about how they handle it because of the implications, the political implications. And why am I saying this? We have to look at the totality of the circumstances of that day. When Bonatti and the other people went there, were they interviewed? Or they were just there waiting? Was there any investigative work being done? But even with that, I'm quite sure there was somewhere in the lines of LMP officers that some form of arrest would have been made today. So there needed to be preparation that even if the arrest did not happen, then we already prepared for date for 8. So if you are bringing people in with they will be arrested, you have to create the avenue for the arrestees to be accommodated. That's one thing, because so I agree with him that we can look at it from LMP's perspective too. They didn't have the intention of arresting people to that day. But if you're calling them in, I don't think LMP found any groundbreaking evidence. The metadata, the geospatial, the geofencing Chief Cuomo was talking about, I don't think that was discovered that day. It was discovered long ago. Ever on the day they called these people in was not the smoking gun. The smoking gun was found a long time ago. So they to have to accommodate these arrestees. But that's besides the point. When it comes to the charges, obviously, if the chief, let me say this, right? Chief Common they did a good job. They really tapped into various resources. You know, when you look at the fight with initial investigation, they went to LPRC, I think they Freeport, they tap into resources available to them and their kids, which is what we do here. We all. So if I have your domestic situation and I don't know much, I will put violence unit, individuals who are expertise in that area to get their guidance, and then tell me, hey, this is what you charge the person with. So it is not wrong for the police to seek out assistance from other organizations, enforcement entities, or government and to be able to. Now, when it comes to the evidence LMP has, I'm not seeing it. The ones we see out there, I said, basically connecting these people to the thing, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, so like
Chief Coleman said something about geospatial/geofence. Geospatial is much more on the higher level. What we deal with is called geofence. So geofence establishes some sort of identification for suspects, and to some extent, it can link people to crimes. But those evidence in and of themselves do not lead to conviction. They have reasonable doubt.
Yeah. So let me hold you there.
So he's confident in his case.
Yeah. So I was speaking to some lawyers and some legal people, and they were telling me that some of the charges like arson, like criminal intent to commit murder, and some of, to be able to establish that these lawmakers were at that scene could be some issues.
And that's the thing. In order to have somebody charged with arson, you know, I don't want to go into the legal aspect of the lawyer part because I'm quite sure Council of Blue can discuss that. But in order to do that, you need to be able to establish present at the time of the incident for arson.
Yeah.
Your investigation will have to establish. That means you have to have CCTV camera putting them on the scene, witnesses putting them on the scene. But I don't know about Liberian law because when the attempted murder charge, the only case of attempted murder that I know of is the day the beats of the police sergeant and his weapon was taken. And when I read the Liberian statute on that, I understand that even though whoever is not there, even though they're not there, because they conspired, if the police can prove that they were involved in the planning of the beating of the officer, whatever charge the person who actually beat the officer is the other people who were involved in the conspiracy can be charged with that too. That's in the Liberian penal law, the revised penal law, from what I read. So that's different about arson and some other things. You have to establish some sort of physical presence. And I don't know if they can do that with the likes of Dixon people and all these people. I don't know if they have the ability to do that. I don't know if they can prove that. If LMP see that they can prove it, that's fine. But these people will have lawyers too. And these lawyers will have to punch holes in these cases. So the chief is saying that they have evidence, which is good. The chief says they have evidence. I dispute that because I don't know what they have. Now, when they go to the court, when the discovery process is established and they go to court and we see the evidence, we compare with our criminal justice knowledge as far as the investigation is concerned, then we can further discuss the issue. But if he's saying they have evidence, we're going to have to listen to him and say they have evidence and let the lawyers handle the rest of the situation.
Sure. Councillor Gu?
So, I don't want to go into the mess of the case because to start discussing the charges will lead to us prejudicing the case on either side, whether it is the state or the defense. But the law on all of those charges are clear, and I'm sure that the police must have really researched the law along with the Ministry of Justice, and they have come up with the proper charge based on the elements of the crime and the attending circumstances leading to the commission of the crime.
Okay.
If there is not sufficient reason to hold somebody for some of those crimes, the grand jury, now, there are offenses therein that needed to be indicted. And because offenses, all of the other offenses will be included in the indictment as well. So you have arson, it's a second degree felony. You have criminal attempt to commit murder. It is also a second degree felony. And then you have criminal mischief. Now, criminal mischief is a first degree misdemeanor. You have conspiracy. Conspiracy is under the second principle. Conspiracy will be a first degree misdemeanor because conspiracy to commit a felony of the first degree is a felony of the second degree. And to commit conspiracy for the second degree is a misdemeanor of the first degree. So if you look at all of those charges, you have the highest there to be arson and criminal attempt to commit murder, which are indictable offenses. So the state will take the evidence before the grand jury and convince the grand jury on why the charges should stand.
That's
based on the evidence that it has.
Okay, that's good explanation. Let us move on to the.
So that's the process.
Okay.
So that wait and see what the grand jury will come up with, because the grand jury charge is the formal charge.
Okay, so it said
of the second court.
Is it possible that the charges could be amended from when it goes through the grand jury process?
It's possible. It's possible. It's a process because it is a grand jury that determines probable cause.
Okay.
Okay. So the grand jury can look at the evidence that is produced before it and say, no, we cannot hold on to this charge. We'll hold on to this one.
Okay.
You can even amend to add other charges therein before the grand jury. Okay. Maybe there's something the police missed out.
Mm-hmm.
And as a prosecutor, from reading the police report, you can determine that another offense was committed. When you are preparing the indictment, you will include that in it and submit it to the grand jury for approval.
Okay. Now, before we go to Alfred, Counsel, so what will happen next now that they've been released on bond? What will happen next?
Well, the next thing that we expect to happen is whether they want to exercise their right to for preliminary examination of the evidence, and whether the government will request a special grand jury to sit to hear the evidence and then come up with the indictment to bring them formally under the jurisdiction of the circuit court. I think it's criminal code A.
Okay. I am to you on the situation involving CDC Chairman Augustus Co. And what do you make of the whole scenario?
Mhm.
You have gone through it. You have written about it and all that. What do you make of it?
Very professional in that. I think the LMP, the statement released by the LMP today, it's clear indication that what happened on what was captured on video is concerning. Now, the argument people have made is that, oh, we don't know what happened before. Well, that's fine. I mean, according to what I learned, this gentleman allegedly blocked traffic with 4 vehicles. That's obstruction. And an officer told him to leave, to remove the vehicle, and refused. That was disobeying lawful order. He's being disorderly. He's disobeying lawful order. These are all arrestable offenses. So arresting him is legitimate. They have enough reason to arrest him. My thing is the manner in which the arrest was conducted is where it is. One thing we have to know as police officers is we have to be temperamental in our approach towards certain things. People will egg us on to do things. You know, there are so many times people will come in when you're arresting somebody, they will curse you, they will do all these things. Do not get stuck in, because these people want moment. They want viral moment, and that's why the CDC chairman got. There was no attempt to actually arrest this guy. It was almost like once we saw him, it was brutal. And like I said in my piece, it was confusing from the very attempt. The very first encounter with him, they were pushing him away from the pickup, and then one other guy came and pushed him back to the pickup and held him. And this was trying to get in the pickup on 2 occasions, and the effort was impeded by the LFP's actions. So everything in that video that reflects an attempt to arrest him, every post used there is questionable and it's excessive. That's my issue. I don't have a problem with him being arrested because he committed a crime. If he allegedly committed a crime, he has to be arrested. Nobody should be above the law. But as police officers, they have enough men there to execute an arrest that will be consistent with the level of force. The force they used, it did not reflect the level of resistance. His hands were up. He was not running. He was not fighting back. Do his brother. Hey, you are under arrest for XYZ. Put your hands behind your back. Try to handcuff me. If you try to resist, that's a problem. But if you didn't, when you listen to the audio, I'm not even sure they told him that he was under arrest. So when you didn't tell him he was under arrest, now you may not be able to charge him with resisting arrest. Because in order for you to charge him with resisting arrest, one element is that he has to be told that he's under arrest. There should be some sort of indication that he's under arrest. If he did not believe that he was under arrest, you can charge him with resisting arrest. But there was no resistance from him. So LMP right to arrest him was established. It's just that the manner in which the arrest was conducted was questionable, and that's why the LMP themselves released a statement, and the Professional Standard Division is going to look into the manner in which the arrest was conducted, and if there is some sort of disciplinary measure or some sort of training opportunity has to be considered, that's fine. They just have to be careful. Officers have to be careful in this situation. Do not give people a moment. And that's exactly what happened yesterday.
Okay. Counsel, you want to come before we let you all go? Councilor Gu, are you there? Okay, it's that we can't get a council. So finally, we want to let go of you, Mr. Doe. You have a whole lot to do. Let us get your parting comments.
Always a pleasure being on discussing issues. Let me make one point real quick before we go. There were pictures of law enforcement officers on social media with their information, their phone number, their addresses, and all that. Anybody who's doing that, they are engaging in a dangerous practice. It is wrong. Officers have a job to do. Whether they are operating on orders or not, they have a job to do. If you have an issue with their job, they are better to do that job. You can seek redress to the court. You can seek redress to your constitutionally guaranteed rights. But to put these officers at risk is wrong. And anybody who's engaging in that, to stop.
Yeah, and you
cannot threaten these officers and expect them to to hold their hands, put their 2 hands back and not press back. No. If you allow people to go to somebody's house and something happens to them, you can be easily charged with that. You can be on the hook for that. And these officers have the right to defend themselves and their families. So you cannot be doing that to officers. We may disagree with LFP's action, but to put these officers at risk is wrong.
Yeah, the police IG spoke to that earlier today on State Radio, and he was clear that officers have orders to fully defend, protect themselves because they have to be safe in order to provide the safety for the public. He was very clear on that.
That's true. Public safety, the primary objective of safety is your personal safety. If these officers are walking around with an M16 rifle and somebody tries to attack them and they don't defend themselves, because gets incapacitated and that rifle is taken, nobody knows what the person who gets that rifle will do. So these officers have a responsibility to protect themselves. So you cannot allow people or you cannot encourage people as police officers. You cannot do that.
Okay, I think you should stay with us and let's take a few calls before our next guest come in before we let you go. So let's take a few calls on 0.
That's fine.
Yes,
that's fine.
077-700-995, 055-995, the numbers to call. This is the OK Conversation. We've brought in the professionals. They've explained what it is. You've listened to them. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Julius.
Yes.
Good afternoon to Alfred Charles Johnson and the Lender Councilor Gu. I'm Kekla Escobar Jr. calling from the Balance Better community. I want to say thank you to them, and more especially my own brother Jack. Normally, he always comes on to provide his expertise when it comes to our country. I wish he clearly states what is wrong and what is right. I think we need that he can come back to this country so that he can be able to provide some tutorial for our people so that will be able to help us run this country in the right way.
Okay.
So, say thank you ever so much to the two of them. Thank you ever so much.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's see who's on this end. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius, how you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
G. Eric Baye here. I just like to commend the two speakers. They spoke well. And hey, Julius, firstly, I don't really want to blame Gregory Kuma for his action towards Jangako, because you and I were here when the former senator of Lofa County, former boss of LIS, what did he say? His failure to arrest Samuel Toy led to his suspension and immediate dismissal. Gregory Kuma is just not taking action because he wants to take action. He's following the instruction of the president.
Well, he's the police boss, and they know what's happening that we do not know. So
the men do not want to fall victim like former senator of Lofa County. And look, thank God you brought the expert. Where in the world a surveillant will put his hands in the air, surrender to you, and you will beat on him like that? Even in the great United States, where one of your panelists is, they will be pulling to you and say, raise your hands. But this man voluntarily put his hands in the air, and you have to maltreat him in our manner and form only because, and then the intelligence we're receiving now is that they want to punish those police people that did that. Look, what action going to come out of it? No action. You send the police people, and that used to happen during till time here. They send guys, they'll give them the instruction. They tell them, say you are suspended for 6 months. At the same time, the people will be paying you on a call after your suspension. You can't rep back. That tactics will not continue to work.
Okay.
Why will you treat us surveillant like that?
Thanks so kindly. Let's take a few others. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, hello, Julius. I think you gotta let everybody go because they got regular follow now on a show common labor force money. My name is Constance and I call for
how does that affect you as a person? Yeah, but that thing doesn't affect you. He is a citizen. He has a right to express his opinion. It is not true. He did not stay long. Go ahead and toy your own. Lead the man. Toy your own.
Everything that the president. Everybody called at the president.
Yeah, but that's the man's view. So toy your own too.
Anything that the president, anything that I the president.
But Toya Untuna, hey, on
Bring in a check. Bring in a check. I that the president. All right, to the issue, Julius.
Go ahead.
We have to fire the CBC folk. The talk show, I will be clear. Some of you journalists, now you, but the CBC journalists, people will, the other guys say.
No, why you can't call on those shows to say what you want to say? Yeah, I don't like to be. Okay, no, I think I will try to let you go. Thanks so kindly. Yeah, I've tried to make you understand, but you don't want to. Welcome, and let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Welcome, Julius. Lorenzo Boga from the Rafi Highway.
Go ahead, Lorenzo.
Julius, I want to go quickly to the talking point and not speak on the situation concerning the items that were taken to the former first lady's place, and those items were rejected.
And then they carry by again.
Julius, let's be very frank, Julius. When people need you, when they are struggling, when their parents need you, when they are in serious illness or serious conditions, and you don't turn up, Julius, when that person dies, and anything you carry that, Julius, even if they take it from you, trust me, it's a serious problem. They will just do it maybe just for formality. Julius, I experienced that in 2008 when my father passed. My father used to work for Joseph Merchant, the former barrow boss or president, you can say. He owns the Fina construction company. I think it's somewhere around the New Hope area in Chicago, somewhere around there. And Julius, my father was the chief engineer for that company in 2008. Father Julius, my father passed. That man was brave enough for 350 that I can still remember. 50 notes, 7 pieces. Put the envelope. And that man did not show up one day, Julius, to even express condolence. Julius, that money was returned. It was not about the money. So now when people are hurt, Julius, in the time of bereavement, it is that moment you go there, you reconcile. So now you don't have to stay soft. You don't have to express what happened in the past. You just go there. Julius, you were just put it, I listened to the former president, did I even mention my name? Is it a lady? Sometimes it hurts, Julius. Let me be very frank.
No, and that's why I said what I said.
Yeah, I experienced that. For me, like I said, it's painful. So sometimes when these things happen, the best thing we can do is you just go there, my boy, you're sorry, or this one, I didn't come on, son, or this one, they want that one, you're sorry, but I think we're here now, I also, you forgive me. You just in a conversation right there. I think it's good enough. Thank you much for the show.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. The guests can come in. The second to last one. Welcome, let's hear you.
Yeah, Julius, how you doing?
I'm fine, go ahead.
Alfred Tamahali speaking.
Let's hear.
Yeah, you see the problem of the country. The leader was there. And now coming in the country as leader, so oh yes, let's get the country forward. With different man, they coming in the country. It didn't happen, that's supposed to happen. Julius, the what they did. What they almost go. They put it in the NGA. What happened? You don't fire in properly, man. Nobody offer man.
No, but and at the police process before they take you to court when they charge you that they can put you in jail for who now?
The police. Yeah, the government come on. What are you talking about? Yeah, people are coming in company with crush.
How you know that who the man get grudge against?
Hey, Julius, we know the people. That people will know. Even we have to say it happen. So me for me, I will let you talk this. For me to go in the country will be hard. But any leader you put where they will come with crush. Any leader you put where
but then maybe you're find different people now. You're find different people.
Will be hard. I can't vote for nobody in the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let's take the final one. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius. My name is Mama C. Kava.
Go ahead.
I want to say thank you to your guests. The analysis was fascinating. Regarding the brutality carried out against our chairman, It only shows that Liberia is unsafe for opposition figures, and this country has become very lawless. Out of the police coming up to say they're going to take action.
But Mama, see, for many years, the way we have all the opposition figures living here and everything from Ellen to Wea to now Boaka. How can you justify that it is not safe for opposition figures? All of them here, they are living here.
Mr. Boaka's time is quite dangerous, in as much as I have my disagreements with Madam Salif, but I don't remember the last time the highest court of our land came out of a ruling and then she blatantly disregarded the law. Under the watch of Mr. Boaka, people have been forcefully and illegally taken from their position, even in the midst of the Supreme Court's ruling. Under the watchful eyes of Mr. Boakai, the speaker has been forcefully removed. He has been forced to resign simply because the president refused to accept the ruling from the Supreme Court. Under the watch of Mr. Boakai, an opposition leader, the major opposition political party chairman, was being brutalized even though he was harmless. That tells you there are so many instances when opposition people started to protest for the demand of justice in the speakership situation. They were brutalized. They were never allowed to protest. So these are circumstances under which one can conclude that indeed Mr. Boaka's regime is unsafe for opposition figure, and it is unfortunate. It has become lawless. The law is only for the powerless. For those of them that are in power, they do not regard the law, and it's unfortunate.
Thanks. So kindly, let's squeeze in Idris for 30 seconds. Idris Belete, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Julius. Let me say, what unfolded on Friday against our lawmakers was very uncalled for and very uncivilized. They had the right as citizens to ask the police if they had anything against them to take them to court. But they honor the court of the police. They walk to them with the understanding that these are civilized people. They understand that we are people of prominence and we are not at fly race. All the police would have done was to read to them what the offense they have committed was and follow them to court. But to detain the people.
Well, according to my guest, that could be a law enforcement tactic.
Beyond court hours and send them at the time that courts are closed. That was very as you say, it was undemocratic.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Amra Fofana, 25 seconds. I don't know why you called in late, but go ahead quickly.
Thank you, dear brother. I just want to demystify the life spread by Mama Sifa. It was under Madam Salif when Thomas Sikosino was being removed. And then he went to court. The Supreme Court told Madam Salif not to go for Virginia, but Madam Salif went there saying in the interest of the Liberian people. It was under President Weah when they said the removal of former Justice Janet was illegal and ECOWAS even told the reinstation man paying all his benefits. They deliberately refused. It was under former President Weah when the people went to protest at the American embassy. The CDC, COP went and brutalized the people over there.
So is it justifiable to happen today too, sir?
It's not justifiable. We condemn it. But don't forget about history and come and lie to the Liberian people.
Okay.
Honor President Weah on Montgomery on my handle because you were working in Munafeno office, they late, and he did agree.
Okay.
So we need the timelessly. Thank you.
Thanks so kindly, Amra Fofana. Let me just give 30 seconds each to my guests. To wrap up, this one says, thanks Julius for demonstrating professional journalism skills, including educating and informing your listeners. Okay, the ones, that's why it is, we call in the professionals. Council, do we still have Councilor Good to wrap up in 30 seconds?
I think Councilor Good.
Okay. Yeah, Alfred, you can wrap up in 30 seconds.
Well, Julius is always public experience on these issues. We just want to say that we hate the national police. We just objectively, we just try to speak based on the issue. And just to quickly say that now it would be unusual for police to be in custody. I mean, for a while for like 48 hours, and they have some investigative work or things like that. LF has a responsibility on a specific of it to do things consistent with law, to not be seen as a political tool, but a professional body. And the fact that they kept somebody out of jail on the even that there was no room for people to get prisoner, it's kind of concerning. And I hope that they take forward and learn from that and do better. And when it comes to the annual of the CDC chairman, I think that was wrong. They had a basis to arrest him. I'm not questioning the basis for the arrest. I'm just questioning the manner in which the arrest was carried out. Thank you, Julius, for the opportunity as always, and I'm always available to speak.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. This message, and I love this message, so it will end this segment. So the gift that had been initially given, then promptly returned, has now, after much deliberation, hesitation, and possibly divine intervention, being unreturned, re-gifted, re-returned, and boomeranged its way back into possession once again for the first time, making it technically the second return of the original return that wasn't supposed to be returned in the first place. And the person did not put their name. I don't know why. Why you didn't put your name? It has I think that's a Sierra Leonean number here, but it's a +3232. Which country? Why you put your name, man? I will have to post this message. Okay, we have our guest here, Dr. You know the doctor they are writing, Dr. Noya? Okay, Dr. Noya Gopudolo Dennis, obstetrician. How can I pronounce it? Obstetrician, gynecologist, fertility specialist. We have her here. When you hear those things, it sounds to me like having children. Yeah. Welcome, madam.
Thank you.
You can just focus on the microphone.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Wow. This tell us the meaning of these roles: obstetrician, gynecologist, fertility specialist. What does that mean?
Okay, so again, Noah Kopudolo Dennis, obstetrician, gynecologist. Obstetrician actually are specialized doctors that take care of pregnant women up until delivery, and then gynecologists are also specialized doctor that focus on treating reproductive tract issues, and especially in the females. So the two are combined to refer to doctors that specialize in treating women reproductive tract disorder up to pregnancy and then delivery. So for the fertility is the fertility part down here.
Okay.
The fertility usually go with reproductive too. It's also linked to being a gynecologist, but it's somehow more in depth in terms of people, let's say, who can born, they having problem with borning, men having problems with ejaculatory, issues.
The low sperm count and all that stuff.
Yeah, you just name it, and women too.
Sometimes some men too cannot impregnate.
Yes.
People.
Yeah, because they have very low sperm count, and because of
some of them they think can stand all that.
That what we call ejaculatory issues, where it can stand too soon, sometimes it stand too late. Yeah. Sometimes it come too soon, and sometimes it come too late.
No, that I want to drink a called chicken.
Very good. So we got a lot of people here, especially for men. Then I would like to, because somebody sent me this post from Kobasi, and this is how prevalent the whole thing about men issues are in Liberia. So he said, according to Kobasi, they sent it to me. He said, no church has ever held prayer section for low sperm count. Always barren women. Nobody cares about men. That's what he says. And then a lot of people, like, they share the post with me. A lot of people saying, yeah, men, they don't care about men. We are suffering in silence, all of those things. So the long and short about it is sexual and reproductive health issues they are becoming very, very prevalent in Liberia. And it's also linked to mental health issue, because soon you start having problem of difficulty getting pregnant. You start having problem of not satisfying your wife in bed. You know how it takes. The woman will be complaining. Nothing will be right in the house. And then it will add on to your mental stress. When you go to work, sometimes you're not even focused on work.
Yeah, because you're even thinking that someone helping you.
Fine. So you're thinking that someone helping you. So we decided, our team decided that, look, it's about time now we break the stigma around, talking about sexual and reproductive health. This is time we bring it to the limelight, to focus on the issues and provide referral pathways where any people can get help. When you're having issues, you know where to go, who to look for, what to do, so that you can be, helped along the way. So,
yes. So I'm saying that, and folks, there's a paid for segment as well. You say there's an upcoming show called Ask Dr. Fertility.
Yes. Okay. So the good news is we decided to do a show on OK, and thanks to OK, thanks to OK management, they were very receptive. So tomorrow the show will be starting. We'll start at 11. It goes from 11 to 12, and then there will be a repeat on Saturday, and which starts at 7 o'clock.
So on that show, you people, it's the fertility, reproductive health, sexual health, all those things are the ones that will be talked about.
Yes. And based on popular demand, the first topic would be mpox and sex. So people been asking, once they heard about it, been texting me, because now we are in a season of prevention and taking care, and people saying, well, can mpox be transmitted through sex? Is it sexually transmitted disease? How can I prevent myself doing outbreak, from mpox? All of those things. Can mpox be transmitted by the placenta when I'm pregnant? Does it have effect on my pregnancy? Will it cause preterm? What effect will it have on my baby? So based on all of those issues, we decided that we'll start the show just discussing, that whole thing about mpox and, and sex, and how we can help people to prevent, contracting it, if indeed mpox can be transmitted through sexual intercourse. So that will be the first topic we'll be dealing with tomorrow, 11 o'clock.
Okay, someone, so you should please give me your number, because someone, a deputy minister says they will need your number. His or her elder brother is having similar issues.
Okay.
Very low sperm count. It's a serious thing, and people we can protect your. Doctors are required to protect your information, and I believe these doctors. I shouldn't be ashamed. Don't be scared. Listen to the show every Tuesday.
Yes.
At 11. But let me ask you a few questions just to tease the people small before we go to the lines. Let me ask you a few questions. So, in terms of women not being able to get pregnant, what could be some of the causes?
Oh, there are a lot of causes.
Like the prevalent ones.
The most common ones, and then again, thanks to Merck Foundation, they have done a research which they share with us.
Okay.
On this side of Africa, and I want to speak as simple as possible for everybody to get it, So on this side of Africa, where we call sub-Saharan Africa, they say the most common reason, that 80% of the reasons women cannot get pregnant after getting pregnant one time is because of infection. The infection block their tubes. So that's the most common reason. And when we say 80%, what we mean when we say 80% is if you get 10% who having problem getting pregnant for the second time, which we call secondary infertility, 8 of those women have black tubes. That's the reason why they're not getting pregnant.
Wow. That's serious.
So that is very serious. And the reason is because the way we treat the infection, we don't go to the hospital. If we go to the hospital, they get all the medicine. We take it. We don't comply with the medicine. If we say 7 days, the doctor says 7 days. They take it for 5 days. They feel okay. They leave the balance one. When they start feeling it again, instead of going back to the doctor, they say, that medicine, the same way I was feeling, the doctor gave me that medicine. I'm going back and take that same medicine. We're all going back to the doctor. In addition, when their friend then get the same problem, can't talk to them, then they become the doctor. Oh man, check go take the other medicine. Oh, that other medicine that help me. They go take it. Whereas the infection climbing up small. And once it leaves down and start climbing up, you will not feel any symptom. So it just go and block the tube. And it will be there for years until maybe when you marry, you won't have child, or you ready to have child now. When you go, they say the tube black. So according to the study, that is the most common reason why people who have given birth before, they having problem getting pregnant for the second time. The other group of people, we call them primary infertility, that people who from the beginning they never got pregnant. That other one by compound complex, most of the time a hormonal problem. So that one
what's the meaning of hormonal problem?
Hormonal problem is the thing that is produced in the blood, that messenger. When we say hormones, they are like messenger. So the messenger in the blood that can make the body say it's time to menstruate, it's time to do that. Sometimes the production is not adequate, it's not enough. Okay, so it causes problem. So that's the reason why the egg not coming out for it to be fertilized, because it's only when the egg come out in the tube that you will get pregnant. But once you're not releasing the egg, you will not get pregnant. Once you release the egg and the tube is black, the sperm can meet the egg there, you will not get pregnant too. So those are the two common reasons, both sides. So then if we have to do with anything, we have to do with the 80%. We have to show and create awareness for the 80%, because it's 8 out of 10 women that are having that problem. So it's very prevalent in
Then we come to men too. What could make men to be unable to impregnate?
So some of
what are the causes?
The causes too are the low sperm, the very low sperm. So one thing we'll be offering is on the show will be, because most people will go for sperm analysis, wherein you go and you will look at the sperm. So the 3 key factors that can make the sperm to pregnate the woman, if I can say, 1 is the volume. It has to reach a certain volume. 2,
certain amount.
Certain amount. So because you see, sometimes you ask yourself, after men ejaculate, they release about 2 million sperm, but only 1 sperm can pregnate them. Yeah. So it means that the other one there for support.
Oh, the men are pushing
that man.
Go
say you go represent, or you are only represented. But so if you don't get that kind of cheerleading, cheering squad behind you, that means
the men can reach.
The men can reach. So the volume is very important. Okay. So the second thing.
And so what can cause the volume to go low now?
Plenty thing again. The main thing again is a messenger, because everything that we do, both male and female, in terms of reproduction, that messenger can send a message for the body to produce.
Oh, hold it there, because I want them to get all the tricks that they do not want to listen. And then finally, why can cause sometimes they think can stand. Yeah, it can't stand. You want to stand? Yeah, that got to shake it. It can't stand. Why?
So plenty issue. And you see, for me, I like to treat men. Yeah. I just want to encourage them. Yeah. Treating men is more resourceful than sometimes treating women, because for men, every 3 months you produce new sperm. So if you do something good in this month, if you receive adequate treatment, everything is okay, we pray, we keep our finger crossed. Most times, by the time the following 3 months comes, the sperm, everything okay. So one of the main reasons why the people they think can stand, sometimes that stress. Sometimes again, you will find it more in a sugar patient. The sugar can land onto the vein because the thing that can make the penis stain that blood. That blood can go into the penis for it to stain. Now, if there's anything that will block that blood from passing through the vein, then it will make the penis not to stain. So sugar will not be a problem. Pressure too, some of the medication that we take too, have that side effect. So we will be now discussing some of the main reasons why they
because some of the medicine we taking all kind of medicine.
Fine. Over the counter sex stimulants is getting plenty in Monrovia. I got two or three of my friends that gynecologists, they raise that concern. They say a lot of men taking these sex stimulants, they go, they buy it $250, $150, they go take it, and they fire there, they move from there, but they don't know the effect. So one of the things we'll be discussing too is the effect of some of those, sex stimulants on your libido, your appetite, everything. Yeah. So tomorrow tune in. I know we just bump into you, and thank you for accepting us.
Sometimes I'll be dragging you on my show too. Yeah. It's very interesting. These are important things to talk about. Let's take a few calls. Our next guests are here. 777-700-995, 555-995. The OK Conversation. We talk everything here. We educate. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly.
David Cote, my name.
Go ahead, sir.
I want to thank the doctor in studio. I think this is a very, very important thing that is coming on OKFM. Sex has always been a taboo subject where people don't talk about it. It's a big taboo. But I think coming on radio now to have a special show is a very good thing. And another problem has been confidentiality. Many men or women, especially men, don't want to go to certain doctors or to doctors because they believe that their issue will go out there. And I have always told many of my friends, this is nothing to view. I said, doctors are like your bathing bucket. You cannot hide your nakedness from the bathing bucket. You must explain to the doctor. So I want to thank you, madam. I will try to follow.
Okay.
All the time. Thank you.
Even though you are very active.
Forget about that, man. I'm a bone.
Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Thank you so much, Julius, for this great opportunity. And let me say thanks to your guests. Julius, this is B.G. Pleniswa. The topic under discussion, Julius, is very much significant and important to our country when it comes to the issue of development studies because it has to do with population. And the fact that our population is very low, we need to work on this and create more awareness and sensitization. That's good for us. So I want to appeal to your guest that the next time so that she can be able to speak, our laborious standard English and leave the series. Because from the beginning, just the end of the program now, when you start talking to her, she start talking to our standard English and colloquial. Because Julius, it's not you and myself are, we look at
and she broke the whole last part down.
I'm saying, down to the last part of the program. That's the time she went down to us. But quickly, this happened this morning on ELBC. The American series will not help us. But thanks, she did well. Thank you so much. But let us continue this on all of the radio stations because it's very much important when it comes to development studies. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's take a few more. Okay, sorry, we're adjusting something. Let's see who's right here. Welcome. Let's hear you. Yes, quickly. Hello. Hello. Okay, we're not hearing you again. This one says, ask your guest if there is a way to lower your sperm in not getting woman pregnant. Because everywhere my little brother passes, something has to leave there. This place says, good evening, Uncle Julius. If you and woman stay together 6 or 7 years, not a single day, year or month she gets pregnant, what will be the cost? I'm like, it's a question how to answer. Does your guest know stern life and its importance to human health? Okay. Please ask your guest what is semen and what is sperm. Okay. She's jotting them down quickly. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Julius. This is Brown Tate from Monrovia.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes. And let me thank the lady in there. You know, sometimes one of those things you ask a question, sometimes you are a woman going the wrong, then you can't stand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we the countrymen then. We will go inside, one will take our clothes, one for the woman to take our clothes, we just knock her down. And if you're not careful, that anxiety alone, it will drop the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, most of those areas where people discuss sex, you see, most of them, they getting plenty of children, all those kind of things is, when you and woman sit down in the bed and you sit down to the other side, looking at each other, you're discussing sex. And you know, how body low, high low, all those kind of things he's telling you about the sweetness.
Oh.
You know, you want just grab her on the spot.
But
Papa,
you gotta get experience in the thing, yo.
Oh, but you know what make an old man? So I see when a young man go and allow old man to go with your girlfriend, he may end up leaving you. Because you know all the technique, yeah. So let me think also but I want her to contact most of the low population county to contact the legislative caucus so they can give us to carry on, you know, advocacy on the local radio station. Because some of these things can't reach in the interior.
Okay.
And our county, they are less populated. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly. This may be the final one. They'll go back to her. Welcome, let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Sam Moses and I call from Parish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really wanted to know. It's like if you get somebody loving, and then only then like we can stand for. Other people, it's just difficult. So why is the reason?
No, I thought that thing clear, my man. Your question not clear.
Was that not clear?
Yeah, make it clear.
Okay. Therefore, instance, your penis, they can only stand for few people, but when it comes to the other people, it's difficult to stand.
But why you can't just be with the person? Why the person can't be with the person that is standing for? Why you won't go somewhere else?
No, sometimes you know things can happen. So it can be an issue too. That's what I want to know.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We come back to our guest now.
Okay, so thank you all for the reception. I will try to break it down into very, very simple Liberian English so that we all can be able to understand, because the essence of this show is for people to understand. Okay, I want to talk to the people, the everyday people. So the essence of the show is for people to understand. And some of those things that you are asking, like what your penny can stand with certain people, then you can stand with the other one. I think we'll answer that more as the show progresses. But the short and long answer is it might be due to mental, how you perceive that person. So you need to work more on the mental health aspect and how you think about that person in a very positive manner, and get some stimulating thoughts in your head, the same thoughts you can be having for that other person. I think it will work. That I don't think that is a medical condition, because the long and short is the penis can stand, but it stands in different circumstances. So somebody asked about, finally they asked about the definition, what is semen and what is sperm. The sperm is the cells, the male reproductive cells, that the one that can get a woman pregnant. The semen is the fluid around the sperm that can support it and give it nourishment. So that the difference.
The semen is like that thing that the cell in.
Yeah.
That it holding the cell, that it carrying it.
The fluid around it.
Yeah.
Then the sperm that is.
But you can't see the sperm.
Only on a microscope. You can see it on
the
a
sperm
microscope.
cells are microscopic organisms.
So that's why we say sperm analysis. It means they're going to analyze the sperm, the cells.
And I think they say in every ejaculation is at least 2 million sperm cells.
It should be between 1.5 to 2 million. That is the WHO, cutoff point. So then we'll look at the movement, how it's moving. It's supposed to be moving straight. Okay? It's not supposed to be moving left and right. It's supposed to be going straight. It's not supposed to be coming back. Then we'll look at the form. They call it in morphology how it look. Every human being supposed to be having 2 eyes with 1 head. Then the sperm too supposed to be having exact morphology, the form. If you see the sperm head is twisted, then a problem. That kind of sperm is not correct. You're not supposed to be having plenty. Then the last important thing, they got plenty of things they can look at, but there are 3 important ones: the volume, the form, we call morphology, and the motility, how it's moving. Those are the 3 important things.
Okay. Folks, her name is Dr. Noah Dennis, Gopu Dolo Dennis. We appreciate your being here. It is like a teaser. I could keep this line open forever. Just please give your number to her and I'll give it to somebody. Okay, so that's how we go. We take a break. Join their show tomorrow at 11. Every Tuesday they will be here with different topics. You can get in touch with them and all those kinds of things. Let's take a break as we let her go and our next guests come in.
Attention, attention, attention to all lovers of the good things in life. A house is not a home, and a home is the one place where you should feel relaxed and accomplished. Your home should reflect who you are. So, it's time to make that upgrade with minimal damage to your pockets. And I have the perfect solution for you. Home Sweet Home, located on Benson Street, between Center and Buchanan Streets, got you covered. From the kitchen, we have air fryers, juice makers, pressure cookers, freezers of all sizes, and all the modern kitchenware. From the bedroom, we have top of the line, exquisite beddings to give you that great night's sleep because you have earned it. And soft, comfortable towels for your bathroom. And in the living room, we have high-definition TV sets of all sizes, unique aerial rugs, classy curtains in all the colors you desire, wall paintings of different sizes and colors, voltage, high-quality washing machines and dryers to keep your clothes fresh and new at all times. As a bonus, we have fashion accessories for both the young and the old, designer quality bags, hats, and rare jewelries. So if you love yourself, your family, and your home, it's time to treat it right. Visit Home Sweet Home on Benson Street between Center and Buchanan Streets for that needed upgrade. You can call them on 0886 834 944 or 0770 581 420. Home Sweet Home, for the love of a classy home.
Wow, I think we have to we have to bring our guests back. This topic was really. Okay. Okay, my name is Julius J. This is the final lap of the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. We have with us one of the most respected men in our country. He's right here. We have Dusty Wolokoli. Welcome to the OK Conversation, sir.
Thank you very much, Julius.
How is life? How's everything going? Long time.
Well, life is going sort of fairly good. Haven't been too well, but I'm managing to pick up.
Okay.
So I mean, it could not be better.
Yeah,
I thank God for what it is.
And we wish you speedy recovery.
Thank you.
You are an older man now, so
yes,
it is
sir.
not surprising when you
very much so
go through some of these things. But you still look so energetic.
Thank you.
Okay, we have it's a Lucia. Is that the name?
Lucia.
Okay, Madam Lucia. Okay, welcome to the OK Conversation, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Okay. And this is to talk about Dr. Amos Sawyer and some inaugural annual lecture and celebrating his legacy, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. There's no gainsaying the fact that Dr. Sawyer is one of the most storied figures in Liberian history. He's if you wanted to name 5 Liberians of historical significance, I think he's certainly going to be there. And having you people here to talk about him is an opportunity, I think, for everybody to learn something. So let's begin with you, Mr. Wolokoli. Dr. Sawyer.
Yes.
Who was the man?
Well, as you have said yourself, I think he was one of the most astute statesmen this country has produced. I think he's lived his life quite admirably, that any patriotic Liberian or so will want to emulate. And he died even fighting for the cause in which he believed, especially when he authored his last book on no land, no vote, talking about how he was instrumental, along with other colleagues in the progressive movement, to do away once and for all the requirement in our law.
Well, but by when did you start knowing him?
I knew of Dr. Sawyer, and I should say, incidentally, me and Lucia Masale knew of Dr. Sawyer from 1972, when we were both in high school in Robertsport.
You mean you and her?
Me and her, yes.
She looks younger than you.
Well, yeah. she's a female, and maybe she's more beautiful.
Yeah. I think that's it. Okay. Oh, now I'm seeing. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. We were schoolmates, but not classmates.
Okay.
At least I was just a class above her, so not even much.
Mm-hmm.
And so we knew of Dr. Sawyer, along with, there were 2 other colleagues of ours.
And she appears like one of the females that would challenge males on the campus, whether it is intellectually and all that. That is how she comes across to me.
Incidentally, you're correct. She has the fame of being the only female who have been imprisoned at the famous Bele Yala prison in Liberia.
Wow. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
If you heard about the 6 students who were arrested by the Semedo government and almost got to be executed, she was among the 5 men who was with her. Izika Pajibo, Alaru Tokbadna, who is a governance commission, James Fumoyan, Agaru Dempster Yala, and I think and others also. She would know her colleagues.
I'll come to her.
Yes. Anyway, so I mean, we knew Dr. Sawyer. We knew of him. We were on St. John's campus. We heard of him. We heard of Dr. Tipote, of them in the 70s, in the early 70s, and we admire what they were talking about because I guess we could live it, and so we began to even organize ourselves. That's why Dr. Tipote became our the speaker for the band graduation. You know, and so then we came to Monrovia. I came to Monrovia in 1975, and went to university and joined others, coming we say other people also, other progressives or potential progressives, and that's how we got to be knowing Dr. Sawyer, Dr. Tipote, Dew Mason, Dr. Formula, and others.
Okay, let's come to you, ma'am. Interestingly, to understand Dr. Sawyer, we got to hear a part of your story. What he just gave us was a tease. So you want to go a little bit deeper into that?
Well, talking about Dr. Sawyer, this man is a man of peace. And his passion, his commitment to human rights, to equal justice and political and social equality in this country. This is why some of us admired him. We also live his vision, and today we are making sure that all those qualities that made Amos Sawyer is kept alive.
Yeah, and I was saying for us to hear a bit of your own story, how you got involved in all of these.
Okay,
like you can just focus a little more on the microphone.
Okay, like what Mr. Wolokoli just said, we were on St. John's, and that's where it was first. It was the Moja movement, the movement for justice in Africa. And at that time, we were talking about colonialism and all the other evils that kept the continent of Africa in the darkness. We learned about people who tried to fight and how they were eliminated, from their own passion and from the causes that they all believe in. So after I graduated from St. John's, and I remember my parents wanted me really to go to Cottonton because, at that time, Cottonton was being run by the Episcopal Church. But I told them, no, I want to go to LU. I want to go to the university. I cannot stay all my life in a small town robber spot and then go back to Gbanga. I said no. So anyway, they said, okay, go to LU. But not knowing that I was going to join my colleagues, Dusty and the other comrades at the University of Liberia. We had a student unification party. Eventually, we formed LINSU. And then, the Moja organization was was in the capital. And how I came in contact with Dr. Sawyer, it was during his run for the mayor of Monrovia. At that time, that position was an elected position. It was not appointed. And today we see it being appointed. So he went to make his announcement that he wanted to contest as mayor of Monrovia. And being a student of the University of Liberia, young, we all follow him to City Hall. And we were denied entry into City Hall for him to stand on stage and declare his candidacy. So we did it on the steps of Monrovia City Hall. And we started, wherever he went to speak, we were all there cheering and giving him the loudest support we could give at that time.
How did you view him at the time? Who did you see him to be?
I saw him as one of the greatest African revolutionary ever. Because this man was challenging the True Whig Party, the only party that was in the Republic of Liberia. And today you see what his fight, the fight that we all did. Now today we have more than 20 parties in this country. It was only one. And for him to have challenged at that time, for us, it was a sign of bravery. It was a sign of commitment, and it was the fight for the struggle for the Liberian people to make sure that this country is not being ruled by one party.
What did people do for which they took you to jail?
That is a long story. That jail thing is all political.
Belayala.
Yes.
I went to Belayala, and I know how far that is. And imagining that there was no road, they just carry people and drop people there.
Yeah, and it was the military regime, and this, for me, this was a regime that had executed 13 people or kill more, but the 13 that we know of, because I know a lot of other people died. And their thing was the people were corrupt. And then you come on stage, and the same thing you executed people for, you're doing worse. So we said, no, you can't do this.
Almost like every regime refrain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me come to so what we call it in terms of the legacy of Dr. Sawyer and what you people want to do to keep him alive and ever present. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think there have been, since his death, we have had every year a memorial in his honor. This time around there's already the existence of the Sawyer Foundation, working with the University of Liberia, which has named a college in his name, the Amos Sawyer College of, I think, the Humanities. So this time around, we are doing a series of talk like we're doing here today. Last week, I think Justice Kabina Janet and others, Commoner Wisa and others, were also doing the rounds in trying to air out the series of activities we're going to be engaging that will culminate into the weekend, into this weekend, from the 13th to the 15th. Principally on the 14th, which will be this Friday, there will be a prayer service at the mosque with the Islamic faith. And then that afternoon of the 14th, there will be the launch of the inaugural series of lectures under the Amos Sawyer series of lectures. Will be held at the Fender campus with a series of speakers, including Professor Jutrombre Mason, H. Boyman Famula, and others will be there. And I think most of the critical mass of intellectuals will be there.
When is it happening?
On the 14th at the Fender campus.
14th of June?
Of June, yes.
Okay, that's
this Friday.
Okay, this coming Friday.
Yeah. The occasion, 13th is Friday.
Yeah, the 13th is Friday.
I'm sorry. 13th is Friday, yes. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the 14th will be a fundraiser on the same campus or so. And then the 15th will be a church service, special church service at the St. Stephen Episcopal Church, which is his church. As for my church, incidentally.
Okay, so let us come to how to expand on that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On the 13th, we talk about the interfaith service, and that will be held at the mosque at Fish Market.
That's Friday.
That's Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. And after that, that's when the guests will be driven to Fendel, to the Amos A.C. Sawyer College, where they will have the first lecture series, the inauguration or the launching of the first lecture series. And then on Saturday, that will be the fundraising dinner, and that will be held at City Hall. And then Sunday, August 15th, which will be Dr. Sawyer's 80th birthday, there will be a prayer service, and then after that, there will be a luncheon, and that's where people can sit and interact and talk with each other.
Yeah, so in terms of the lecture series, he was calling some names I expected to be there. You want to expand on that? At what time and of the day?
Well, the lecture series will start at 3:30, and the guest lecturer is Professor Dew Mason, and that he will also be accompanied by the president of the University of Liberia and other dignitaries and invited guests. the students of the Amos Sawyer College will be there, and then other people from around the community will also be there. And we are inviting all Liberians to please go and listen and have a section where you'll be able to ask questions and also interact with the lecturer and other dignitaries that will be on the university campus.
So, in terms of the fundraiser, what is it for? What is it being geared towards, and how can people attend?
You see, Dr. Sawyer was very, very committed to education. And with that education came along peace, respect, and tolerance. So this is why the Amos C. Sawyer Educational Foundation want to make sure to keep this legacy alive by raising funds that it will also be able to help students pay tuition for students. Also be able to open up a reading room. In his will, he donated most or all his books, documents, and writings to the University of Liberia. And the foundation wants to build a reading room where people can come sit and read. Researchers from all over the world can come sit and research topics related or relating to Amos Sawyer. So to do these things, we need funding. And the president of the University of Liberia has been very, very instrumental, and she's open and she's excited and she's willing to work with the foundation to make sure that this lecture series stays alive and it is incorporated on the calendar of the University of Liberia.
Okay. Yeah, you want to come in, sir?
Yeah, I should say, talking about the education, I should mention that Dr. Sawyer, in his own devotion to education and especially political, civic education, he wrote a series, led a team that wrote a series of textbook from first to sixth grade to replace what we used to have as civics, to hopefully reintroduce the curriculum of civics in our schools that have been out, and to teach the people their duties and responsibilities as citizens, as good citizens. Those books, surprisingly for me, have not been adopted to be used, whether they've been adopted or not, but it's not being used in our schools that is present. So I have a set of them. Hopefully, if I have a chance to train, I can train people in civic education. But it's good for from first to sixth grade. And I think there is a whole gamut of things that Dr. Sawyer has done that this foundation and the college the Amos C. Sawyer College would do to advance and enhance our educational situation in the country. As you know, former President Ellen Johnson said he once referred to education as a mess in our country, and I think it is still messy. And I think we have a great deal to put into education to increase the capacity and increase the situation of our education. And so I think with his legacy will certainly help, advancing his legacy will certainly help in advancing education in our country as well.
Okay. Now, in terms of, you are talking about materials that he wrote, the different books. You want to expand a bit on the different books that he wrote, and then we can come to Governance Commission as well, what he did there.
Well, I tell you, I cannot recall most of the titles of the book. I know he wrote a series of books. One of them was, I think, in fact, he wrote a small piece with a little pamphlet, like a little bit book, effective immediately. On the military regime at the beginning of the military, something on plunging of the cited. I mean, it's a huge book. Then, of course, the last one he wrote, which I mentioned, that he did not publish until his death, and it was published by some of his colleagues and proteges that after him, led particularly by our now Deputy Foreign Minister for International Cooperation, Dr. Ibrahim Yang. He spearheaded the publication of Dr. Sawyer's book that he wrote completely, script, everything done, only for publication before he died. And Dr. Yang led the process in ensuring the publication of that book, which is No Land, No Vote.
Yeah, you want to come in?
Yeah.
In terms of his days at GC.
No.
I didn't say she was not at GC.
Oh, okay,
I was not at GC.
So
I just wanted to add to the No Land, No Vote.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
you know, because that book, it is so historical, and it's almost for me like a little civic book that, you know, if possible, a lot of people could read, and that would tell them where we came from and where we are now. So maybe, who knows, that should show some level of patriotism and some level of appreciation for the hard-fought fight our people have done in this country. No land, no vote. Today, you have people at the age of 18 that can go and take, you know, their ballots, go stand someplace and vote for somebody. But years ago, you had to have property. Tell me this day, how many young people here own land or own a house? So these were the things that our comrades and brothers of the progressive movements fought for, to get that out of the way. And that process was being fought for when Dr. Sawyer challenged his candidacy for the Monrovia City mayor position.
Okay. Let's come back to
GC.
Yeah, the GC.
Yes, I joined Dr. Sawyer at the GC in 2013, in the latter part of 2013, and remained there with him until he left the GC in January 2018, when the new administration came to power, President George Weah. So before the GC, I was at the House of Representatives, and incidentally, I was chair of the Committee on Good Governance, Government Reform. So I was part of, in fact, spearheaded the passage of the Governance Act. As you may recall, there were two commissions that were created by the Accra Peace Accord. Those two commissions were the Contracts and Monopoly Commission, which is now Dovetail, or which is now the Public Procurement and Concession Commission, and the Governance Reform Commission, which is now the Governance Commission. And so I spearheaded as chair of the Governance Commission of the Governance Reform and Government Reform Commission of the National Legislature. I chaired the passage of the bill into law that created the Governance Commission from the Governance Reform Commission. So I had pretty good idea of the operations of the Governance Commission before I went there in 2013. In 2013, when I went there as I was hired as a program manager and senior policy analyst. I was program manager for public sector reform until 2013, until 2019. I should say 2019, when I got retired. So during the period there with Dr. Sawyer, he had done a pretty good amount of work in the reform process, and of course with the various mandate areas that he had within the Governance Commission, which included the Public Sector Reform Commission, the Political and Legal Reform, the Civic Engagement, the National Integrity mandate area, the monitoring and evaluation. So there were 5 mandate areas, and one of the mandate areas I was program manager for until he left the commission and until I got retired in 2019. But during the period he was there, there was the Governance Commission is considered as the government think tank for reform advise the government on policy recommendations and implementations of policies, existing policy and new policies that will come about. And I think to a large extent that was done with the creation of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning out of the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs and the Budget Bureau that was merged, and then the new ministry there, and then the deciphering of the Revenue Department to form the Liberia Revenue Authority. And then, of course, the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare that was separated, where you have now only the Ministry of Health. And then the social welfare component was moved on to the Gender and Children Ministry, Children and Women Ministry. And a key number of places that reform that was done. One of the key things that were being done, which was stopped in the process for the past 7 years, was what we call the mandate and function review of the public sector reform mandate area, where each ministry you went to and took the mandate of the ministry which is enshrined in the act creating those ministries, and the functions also to there maybe in a scattered way, but review them alongside the agency, the ministry, agency or commission, which we call the MAC, MAC, review with each of them, and then reform them, along with them do some reform, bring them up to date, so that the mandate that they had and the function they were carrying on, whether it was in par with the present day realities. So those things were being done, and in some cases, and in most cases, as you say, it led to a creation of a new act that would include the reforms that were brought about by the mandate and function review, and those acts were passed, and then the ministries began to operate on that. We did that for about, I think, 11 to 15 max. Now, it stopped at some point in time, and it has not been going on, and therefore the whole reform process came to a stop, say 6-7 years ago, and here we are with the new dispensation. It has not begun, and I don't know when it will begin. So Dr. Sawyer, that's a legacy he left, and I pray God, I hope that we can go back to it, because I think it did us a good number of things. People knew what they were doing. People had term of reference. People knew their line of demarcation. They knew they were not overstepping one another. They were not repeating or overreaching their boundaries, their mandate. They knew their mandate. They knew the term of reference. They knew their work plan. But I think we have a lot of confusion now, and we have to go back to the books to do better.
Okay, let's come back to her, and then we go to the lines. Councillor Gonglo says another book he wrote at the beginning of the 1990s is titled The Evolution of Privilege. You remember that? The Evolution of Privilege. No. Okay. You want to say one more thing before we go to the lines?
Well, Dr. Sawyer had a posture that I really admire of him. This we call, quote unquote, walk the talk. And that meant it is not only his ideas, his beliefs, his passion are not only words, but what you believe and your passion, you should always put it in action, that it will be impactful to the Liberian people.
Okay. 777-700-995, 555-995-995, the numbers to call, and you will be through. We're discussing the great man, the late Dr. Amos Claudius Sawyer. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hey, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much, man, for telling me about Sawyer on our East services.